My name is Jim Coston, and I'm lead pastor of FBC Scottsdale. In 1974, I was 4 years old, and at the time, there were like 4 TV stations. You had the 3 public networks, and then you had PBS with it. And it was one evening, it was on a school night, I think, and my dad was watching the movie of the week, and it was called Killdozer. Now, I had Tonka toys. I loved that stuff. And from the title, you can guess the movie was about a bulldozer that went around killing people. Somehow it got autonomous and went around killing people. And eventually, wherever they were, the folks got an excavator, and there's a big battle between the bulldozer and the excavator won, and so forth. Just really interesting, and if you go to YouTube, you can find it. It's like 90 minutes. Production values aren't so great, and it kind of gives it away with the title, but as a 4-year-old, it was fantastic. Now, the problem for me was, the very next week, the city was paving my road. And I'd watch this 2-hour movie with my 4-year-old mind, a bulldozer going crazy. Well, during the week, they're paving the road in front of my house. I am on that porch, ready for alert. The minute one of those construction vehicles starts moving from where it should be towards my house, I'm going to run and get my parents and start screaming bloody murder, right? That made an impact on me. Well, it gets to the fact that we have to know who our enemies are, right? In the movie, the bulldozer was the enemy. But the folks in front of my street paving it were not the enemy. They were actually helping us. It was going from kind of a gravel road to a paved road. Peter will talk about that in chapter 4, verse 19, that we always don't identify the right opponent when we're in a battle. 4:19, so then, those who suffer according to God's will should commit themselves to their faithful Creator and continue to do good. Notice what Peter says here. He doesn't say that when people are opposed to you, and as believers, that happens a lot, that we should fight them, that we should battle them. He doesn't say that. He doesn't say they're the enemy. He doesn't say that they're the opposition. He says, find a way into their hearts. Even if they're angry and screaming at you, find a way into their hearts because they need Jesus. We have to realize, as Peter says to us, that we fight against principalities and powers, not against people. People are not the enemy. People are not the opposition. When someone's in your face opposing you, slandering you, ridiculing you, the temptation is to make that person the enemy and you go right back at them. But if we're trying to save people that don't know God, they may come across as our enemies, but they're not. Those are the very people Jesus wants us to reach. And the early Christians knew this. So they didn't fight back. They turned the other cheek. They showed love. And that's how they expanded and brought people in. It was amazing. Sadly, nowadays, we as believers feel like that we're in a battle against non-believers, that you've got to say Merry Christmas, not Happy Holidays, that you've got to acknowledge who Jesus is or you're an enemy. That's not the case. These are people, at least they're declaring who they are. That gives us a chance to reach them, to show them love, to show them care, and to realize that they need Jesus just like we once did. And that we can be the person to tell them about Jesus, to share that good news, and certainly the people to show them who Jesus really is. And we don't do that with a clenched fist. We do that with an open palm, an embrace, and loving words. Now, we fight against a lot of enemies out there. They're not people. We think about human trafficking. You can think about racism, devaluation of life, greed, pride, envy. We can go on and on. But we don't fight against people. People themselves are victims of those things, just as believers are. But we don't fight against people. We fight against principalities and powers. So something to think about this week, kind of an action step. When you feel someone's opposing you because of your faith, your belief in Jesus, they make a snide remark, a joke or something, don't think of that person as an enemy. Think about, that's someone who doesn't know the joy I have, the love I have, the forgiveness I have. How can I reach them, Jesus? And then act on that. Because people are not the enemies. We fight against principalities and powers, not against people. Peter tells us that. The early church that received his letter believed that, and I believe that. If this message has made an impact on you, I invite you to share it. I also invite you to go to our website, FBCScottsdale.church, to find more about our ministries. You can support us financially and learn more about who Jesus Christ is. Blessings to you.